people look back at it now and say that it's a weaker movie, but I think it's very important.
He goes from an arrogant, moody teenager to then actually
Yeah.
maturing and being considerate, like a leader.
Jane running him over twice, and she's like, "I'm swear I'm not trying to do this." Like, that was funny.
I don't think it was better than Iron Man, but I liked it.
Watching Loki's downfall in this movie made me so sad. While we're preparing for Avengers Doomsday, we decided to go back and watch one of the earliest Marvel movies, and that's Thor. Honestly, this movie feels very different than the modern Marvel movies, and I personally think in a good way. Thor came out in 2011. It was only the fourth movie in the entire MCU. Watching it now, you can really tell that Marvel was still figuring things out. But everything connects and it explains a lot of things that you need to know in the future. And welcome back to Forget the Critics, the podcast where we watch movies, talk about them, and decide if they deserve the hype. I personally think Thor isn't actually a bad movie, right?
I agree. I liked it.
I think people look back at it now and say that it's a weaker movie compared to what has come out, but I think it's very important. I'm gonna go ahead and ask Libby. Overall, did you like the movie? I know this is your second Marvel movie. We're kind of skipping around to things that I think are just good before Avengers Doomsday. Do
Mhm.
you like it better than Iron Man? What are your thoughts?
I don't like it better than Iron Man, but it was still a
Mhm.
really good movie. Very entertaining, very good plot, really good character development. I mean, like, look at Thor from the beginning of the movie to
Yes.
the end. He goes from, like, an arrogant, like, moody teenager. I don't know if he was actually a teenager, but that's what he seems like, to then actually
Yeah.
maturing and being considerate, like a leader, you know? He turns into a
Mhm.
leader. His character development was awesome. I liked the romance. I don't remember what the girl's name was.
It was Jane.
Jane. They were
Yep.
very cute together. I loved them. And, like, she was so cute how she was, like, a nerdy little scientist girl trying to figure out,
Mhm.
um, basically Thor's, like, civilization. That's what she was trying to, like, figure out. But yeah, super cool movie. I don't think it was better than Iron Man, but I liked it.
You know what I think this movie did better than Iron Man though? Is it
What?
has better humor. I think it was funnier than Iron Man. Iron Man obviously has some really good humor because of his like arrogance and that's just funny. But I mean
Mhm.
Thor, you have Jane running him over twice and she's like, "I'm swear I'm not trying to do this." Like that was funny. And then
Yeah.
what other thing? Oh, just like him in Asgard with all of his buddies, like that stuff was funny. So
Mhm.
I just think it does things better than Iron Man. And then also I just think personally it's harder to say if Thor is better than Iron Man just because I think they're I don't know, they're way too
They're
different in my
too h
head. Like,
yes, they're too hard to compare because 'cause they're not very similar.
yeah, I feel like it would be different if Iron Man was truly just Iron Man, but as we already said, Iron Man just feels like it should be Tony Stark. And so because it just feels like that movie is Tony Stark related, I just think that it just feels way too different to compare them because they're both good in their own ways.
Mhm.
And
I agree.
I already have Thor and the Asgardians and they already have a sweet spot in my heart. I think it's just because they're gods and I kind of like the Greek god type stuff, but they kind of just always have a sweet spot in my heart. Next, I wanted to talk about Loki. Libby, you were just introduced to Loki. You will see a lot more of him throughout our MCU journey. And
Mhm.
I just want to say, watching Loki's downfall in this movie made me so sad just because I know what happens to him
Wait,
in the
don't
future
spoil anything.
movies.
Don't
I
spoil
won't.
anything because I don't know what's gonna happen to him. Like, right now, he seems very shady, but, like, obviously, I'm very curious to
Mhm.
see how he grows.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything. I just want to put it out there. Like watching this movie just makes me sad watching his downfall. It just I was just like, man, I hate this. I want to know how you feel about Loki though. What I mean, do you think he's an interesting character? Do you not like him? What do you think?
Um, mm, I guess I'm not really a big fan of him. I Because what okay, wait, I'm trying to remember how he even felt like he was different at the start. Because I know at one point his dad did tell him that he was from the, what were those people called?
Um, I'm blanking now.
I'm blanking too. They were, like,
They were
really tall
just
and
call them
they
the
were,
ice
like
people. I'll search them up.
okay. So I do know at one point his dad and, like, the, like, ruler of Asgard told him that he actually was basically adopted from the ice people. Um,
Mhm.
so I can see why he would, like, feel conflicted after learning that information, but even before then, he had walked up to like, case where they kept that stone, and he was like, "Am I different?" Like, he already had, like, a feeling that he was different, but I don't know
Yes.
why, because wasn't he, like, honestly just treated like a normal kid?
Sort of. So the reason why he walked up to the blue thing was because, and I remember now. It's Jotunheim.
Mm.
That was their world. The reason why though is because remember when Thor had brought them to confront Jotunheim's leader because they had snuck into Asgard, and you see that that guy grabs Loki's hand and it turns blue.
Oh, I do remember that part,
That's when
yep.
he that's when he starts to realize like something's different about me.
Oh.
But then
Ah,
also
yeah,
just throughout
that
his
it is
life.
sad. It is sad to
Mhm.
watch him, like, fall downhill because, yeah, like, up until that point, he was, like, always backing Thor up and kind of, like, keeping him in line, like, he was a good brother.
Yeah, uh, the thing, Loki Loki was a good brother to Thor, as far as we can tell in the first movie. Thor was a good brother, but he was just arrogant, and so
Mhm.
and he really didn't. He was good to Loki, but he wasn't. He didn't care for Loki. I don't know how to explain that well, but um, and then Loki was always jealous of Thor because Thor was treated better because he was firstborn, and Loki was jealous because he saw his brother's arrogance and he saw the way that he treated people, and so that's kind of where it started. And then he saw he was different, and then Thor went off the handles, and so that's where it all stemmed.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
But I think moving forward, you'll I really want to know what you think about Loki after we watch some more movies, but
Yeah,
after
I wanna see
after
more
this
stuff that
movie,
has him in it.
I like Loki because he has some cool powers. You really don't get to see a lot of his powers. You get to see him y- um you get to see him what's the word I'm looking for? He multiplies himself, and then he can make himself look like he's somewhere that he's not. I
Mhm,
believe
mhm.
Loki is the god of mischief. So, very cool.
Mischief.
Mischief. Yeah, misspeak. This movie is super, super important. This movie does really well at teaching you about the nine realms and how the universe really works, which really becomes important when you're watching more Thor movies because there are more Thor movies, and also there's a Loki TV show. And if you just want to understand MCU in general, this is important. And so I want to know from your point of view, Libby, is this whole thing kind of confusing to you, or does it seem interesting?
No, it doesn't seem confusing.
Do you like the guy who was like keeping watch of everything and how he could like transport people and he could see
Mhm,
everything? I think that guy has
mhm.
so
He
much
was
aura.
cool.
I love him.
Yeah, that is aura. Like, even when he was frozen, he was able to, like, crack the ice because he just had
Yes,
that
he's
urge to
powerful.
help his people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, and and then you have no idea who this guy is, but Hawkeye has a sick intro in this movie, and really one of the only intros he gets into the MCU. Um, but when you're seeing Thor go down that muddy hill to go get his hammer, and do you remember they kept cutting to that scene of that guy holding that bow and arrow pointing at Thor, and he was like,
Mhm.
Coulson, he's like, I'm ready whenever you are. That's Hawkeye. And so that's his intro. He will be on the Avengers team, and his whole thing, Libby, is he doesn't miss. So anytime
Okay.
you see him shoot an arrow, never misses.
Okay. Wait, when do we, like, see a movie with him?
Think I think we're gonna watch Captain America next, and then we'll watch a movie with him in it. So 2 movies.
Mm, okay. Interesting, okay.
He's I think he's like one of the lamest Avengers, but he's an Avenger nevertheless.
He'd
And
probably be
then
sad to know that you think that about him.
I think his TV show's amazing. I'll tell him that. Did you know that the actor? You probably don't know this. I don't even know why I asked you. Did you know? The actor for Hawkeye, he was in an accident about I want to say like maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, where he was on a hill and he had one of those big snow machines that like flattens snow, and it got like out of control and was moving towards someone, and he went to go try and shut it down and he got pulled underneath the tracks, and it crushed like his ribs and got major facial damage, and he was like underneath this machine and he had to be like airlifted to the hospital.
Oh my god. Like, is he okay?
Yeah, he's okay now, and I think he I think he was back to acting. Yeah, he was because
Wow.
they came out with his TV show, but I think he was, like, close to death. It was insane.
Oh, that's really sad.
He's a real Avenger because of that.
Yeah, facts.
My last kinda take on Thor is I do have one criticism, and I think there are some bad scenes in this. I think when they're fighting on Jotunheim, you don't really get to see the full fight because they're kind of cutting the clips off right at punches, so you don't really get to see the full
Mm,
fighting scene. And I also was thinking when Thor was fighting the last, I'm forgetting like all the names of these things, but when he was fighting that last soldier in the end that Loki sent to kill him, he had, raise him up in a tornado, ended up killing him, and he kind of like dropped down from the sky. And I don't know, that scene to me just seemed like it just didn't look good. It didn't look like Marvel
yeah,
standard. So I think it did show how old the movie was. And
yeah,
surprisingly, it looked worse. Like Iron Man didn't have any scenes where I was specifically was like, "Oh, that doesn't look good." So that surprised me since it's a newer movie.
yeah. I get what you're saying, but, I don't think it was, like, anything that threw off the whole movie.
Nah, definitely not. It's just me being picky about it. But it was enough for me to notice it during the movie and for me to remember it right now, like as I'm writing
Mhm,
my stuff out. So, but I think it is a little bit more difficult to make Thor because you have to do more CGI with him because of his lightning and his flying versus
mhm.
Iron Man. I think that suit is easier to do because it's just a suit. So, I could be
Yeah.
completely wrong. I don't know.
Iron Man is just himself moving,
Yeah.
Whereas in Thor, they had a whole funnel system and, like, multiple people and things, and they had to make
Mhm.
it look like he was actually coming out of, like, a sky.
Yeah. Oh, how do you feel about when Loki, in the end of the movie, had let go of Thor's hand and fell and essentially killed himself? But then you see in the end credit scenes that he's still actually alive and he's plotting.
Not surprised.
Not
He's
surprised. Was
he's
that
got
was that
he's, like,
interesting though?
sneaky, like yeah, that was
Hmm.
interesting. They wanted to trick us.
To end things off, I have a game for you,
Okay.
and this one once again is going to be related to Thor. So this game is going to be called the Worthiness Test. you can't pick up Thor's hammer. You can't pick up Thor's hammer unless you're worthy of it. So, I'm going to test you. I'm going to give you 3 scenarios, and you have to decide if that person is worthy of lifting Thor's hammer. Are you ready?
Can only one of them be worthy, or is it like yes or no for every situation?
You have to pick which one is going to be worthy. Only one of them. You can only pick one of them to
Okay.
be worthy enough.
Okay.
So, person 1 is someone who always tells the truth, but they can be brutally honest. Person number 2 is someone who
Okay.
sacrifices themselves to save strangers. And then person number 3 is someone who cheats in games, but is otherwise a great person. Who is worthy and who isn't?
Probably the most worthy is the person who sacrifices themselves to save strangers. Sounds like a superhero. Sounds like they need a magic
What superhero
hammer.
does it sound like to be exact?
Sounds like Iron Man.
Nope. It was Thor.
What?
Thor was yeah, he was about to
Oh, I
sacrifice him in
guess.
the end of
Well,
the movie.
okay, wait. I don't want to get flamed. Ask me that again.
Someone someone who sacrifices yourself. Like you want me to ask you the entire thing again?
No, let me
Oh,
redo my
yeah,
answer.
wait. What superhero does that sound like?
Sounds like Thor. Duh, that's why he needs the hammer.
Got it. Nice. Nice guys. Okay, I got more for you.
Okay.
All right. The next one is the hero who wants credit. Someone who saves people all the time, but constantly posts about it online for attention. The loyal friend. Someone who would do absolutely anything to protect their friends and family, even if it means breaking the law. Or someone who is usually scared and avoids danger, but in one critical moment, they choose to step up and save everything. Wait, before you answer, I have a bonus one. Someone who returns their shopping cart every time, but occasionally pirates movies online. Which one is
Um,
worthy and which is not?
wait, I'm like feeling indecisive between 2 and 3. Wait, 2, read that one again. They always save their friends and family.
Yes, but even if it means breaking the law.
And read 3 again.
Someone who is usually scared and avoids danger, but in one critical moment, they choose to step up and save someone. So it's between, does loyalty make them worthy, or does breaking the law make them unworthy, or does one brave moment make someone worthy who's normally not brave?
Honestly, I think one brave moment makes someone worthy.
You think so?
Mhm.
But what about that person who returns their shopping cart every time, but then they pirate some movies occasionally? Isn't that pretty
They don't
worthy?
need a hammer for that. Nah.
Okay, fair enough. That has been Thor, guys. Libby, let us hear your final ranking on Thor out of 10.
Final ranking, 8 out of 10, 8.5, 8 or 8.5 out of 10.
Wow. Wait, what did you give Iron Man?
I don't remember. Probably like a 9 out of 10.
You Yeah, fair. I
I
You know
think
what's
I think
crazy
Iron
is
Man is a little bit better of a movie.
I just said today that Thor was an 8 out of 10 movie. So we're kind of on like the same wavelength here.
We're on the same page.
It has been real, guys. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, make sure that bell is on. Come back for next week as Libby and I are going to be watching Captain America: The First Avenger. We are going to continue our preparation for Doomsday. I'm going to get Libby prepped for this movie. She's going to be a nerd when it comes to this. So
Mhm.
make sure to tune in every single week when we watch a new MCU movie. Thank you guys for watching, and
We'll see you guys next time.